Here we are. Here we are. I'm probably going to be by myself streaming at an unusual time today. Hello, hello, and thank you for your patience, especially those of you who were signed up on on Sunday, the 17th of August. I was not feeling well at all, so Susan and Nancy and Tanya and Steve, thanks for waiting and hopefully catching up with me here soon. And others of you, I just want to recognize that I know you sometimes join me. Really appreciate it. Chris, Nina, Patty, Gail, Mary Beth, Sandra. I just took a peek at one of your videos from one of your classes for a little bit. I think you were talking about a mudra. I My thumbnail is a sculpture of a hand, and in yoga we have this these gestures that create circuits of energy. The energy is different or as you feel the way you rest your hands or hold your hands, and as energy flows through them. And we'll play a little teeny bit with that today, but mainly I was just fascinated by this sculpture. It's huge. You see on the thumbnail. It's um, it's a hand, and I was really wondering what the owner intended or why I mean, they just liked it. Maybe they wanted people to wonder. The hand is, maybe it's a right hand. I'm not sure. It's it's quite flat. And go ahead and oh no. Let's center first. Then we'll get into play. So we'll play a little with these energies. We'll center. We'll play a little with these energies. We'll get into some small, simple movements, and then we'll slide into meditation. And all this will be roughly a half hour. Um, in the meditation today, I'm hoping to stay mostly silent. Um, and so I invite you to be attentive to how you how what you do to arrive, what you do to feel your presence. And all this happens. And the reason I chose that symbol, it was like a stop, arret, halt, and just pause. So it's in that moment of now, we really get to go deeper and we get to open to all in a way that's free of rememberings, judgments. It's, well, they're still there, but we get to embrace something bigger. That's very, let's say, healing, actually, very healing when we get to feel it intimately for ourselves. It's not something I believe that all of the spiritual traditions point to this in some way. They offer different tools, different pathways, but it's the human experience. Okay, but try it out for yourself. So to arrive, I just get tickled by the feel of this statement. And when I take in that word, those words, to arrive, the messages that happen in my body, in my mind, the change that happens when I make that commitment. And it certainly helps to be here together with you, making that commitment. That togetherness is powerful. So arriving, I turn to feel my seat, my feet and legs, my hands. You might be lying down or curled up on your side doing this. You might be sitting in a chair. But whatever is on the ground, and part of this arriving and finding that gateless gate to presence is the sense to feel our physical body. It's a great tool for getting us through that gate. Feeling how body and ground, earth, the physical earth element of our self is solid form and the solidness of Mother Earth, which includes for me this blankets and cushions that I'm sitting on, the carpet, the tile. I'm above the garage. Below that is cement. And it's useful in a sense to go down, and you can keep a sense of your own earthness, your own body, the center of that, even as you attend to watch as if you can go down into the earth's layers and imagine, go with your, uh, what does Superman have? X-ray vision, downward, downward, all the way to that center of the earth, which I guess we have evidence is a molten hot core. I say I guess because I don't know if that's still what the theory is. And and then be aware that you're also breathing, and it's very possible that you can hold both these things, these major things, this feel of our body on the body of the earth, which are two solid forms, and yet feel the aliveness of your breathing. And even, oh, I wasn't, this just popped into my mind. Um, Sometimes in our practices, my practices with my embodied life school teachers, Linda and Russell, they would suggest that we feel that the earth is alive. But imagine it's a giant elephant. And by sensing that aliveness, sensing into the possibility of that, perhaps we can sense the reality of that. And then listen. So the three prongs I use, I like Christine Clardy's hands, seat, feet. But the ones that are really dear to me, kind of close to what I fall back on always, is ground. And ground is that gravitational pull, so it includes the rebound effect of levity, upward, buoyancy, partnered with breath and sound. So let's go back to breath for a moment, and just even as you're sensing ground, buoyancy, gravity, levity, sense the way that you notice your breathing throughout your body. Perhaps you feel your breathing in your hands as well as your nostrils, your throat, your belly. Perhaps you feel the wave like effect that touches your skin of the breath. And you could come back to any of these anytime. As I invite you now to add in sound. My noise canceling headphones muting. I really don't hear much of anything. I'm usually recording in the morning, and there are often bird sounds, even with the noise canceling headphones, earbuds rather. But I just sort of feel a hum. And so notice how, when you're listening for sound, There's this connection of inner and outer, and perhaps an integration, like they're not really separate. And so you might have a sense of really different way that you're sensing presence now, perhaps a deeper way. And of course, you're welcome to practice as you like or follow my cues. I'm going to raise my left hand in the mudra, the way this, I'm going to show you from the side, the way it wasn't really back, but it was from the side. It was definitely a flat hand, the thumb by its side. And if you raise your hand like that, it's almost like you're saying, "Oh, I hadn't thought of this." It's often I pledge. Do we do a pledge allegiance with our hand on our heart? But sometimes doing pledges, Girl Scout pledges or something. Place your hand up like this. Maybe hand on the heart. I'm forgetting. Hand on the one hand on the heart, one hand in this pledge. So there's this inward and then this outward. And these two, and so the invitation is, as Kira Sloan would say, the play is to notice the feel, like placing, having the hand on the heart there as opposed to not, quite different. What is it that changes? What is the description that you would give? And this is super valuable, a partnership, giving words, the truest words we can, the most accurate, can be sort of poetic. They don't have to be engineer like, but they can be of what you feel, sense in the body. And then once again, I'm going to drop away the hand on the heart, and I'm going to change to soften my lifted hand. Actually, I'm going to change hands and do it with the other. Excuse me. So it's not a flat hand, but rather a little bit cupped. And there could be different versions of this. There's sort of this hand like giving a blessing that the Pope might do, or you often see Buddha statues like this. And this is so the difference of you like the flat hand, the halt, or I pledge, and then it's a little bit cupped. I almost feel like there's a beam of energy going out. Blessings towards you, my friends. Wish you blessings. Feels like a beam of light coming out from my palm. And then what if you did something with the other hand? This hand is sort of this one now is uh, broadcasting out, and the other hand can be receiving. I'm going to drop it lower, but it's just a hand up, cupped. This is again a gesture that you might see some spiritual statues in this position. And you may start to feel it's a different kind of, very different energy than the flat hand, either pledging or saying halt. And perhaps I'm going to let go of the receiving hand. I'm going to take both hands up and send double good intention outward, maybe even moving to the sides, kind of in all directions. Blessings to all beings. And then you could bring that back to yourself, that intention of goodwill, blessings. And you could simply enjoy the feeling, but you can also describe for yourself how is this one compared to the other? What does this feel like compared to this, and this? Take a couple more breaths and perhaps play a little bit with these gestures I've shared, or perhaps you know others. There are many, many others. There are some that involve both hands together. Um, there are many, as I said, many, many. So you might know some of those, or you just might make them up for another minute or so. When you're ready, you can release that and join me in just sitting. You might want to change the position of your legs. I'm going to do that just for a moment. Although, oh, now that I've changed it, it shakes up the energy, but you can probably find it quite quickly. You can just marinate in what you feel, or if you're or move to give it some words, even saying them out loud. And the more detail you can give, for example, the one that comes to me right now is compared to how I was before this practice, I feel calm. That's very general. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's very general. It's helpful if you stay with it a little bit more and say something more to give it a little more specificity, a little more a little more individuality to what you're feeling. And so if I do that, model it, I would say, sometimes it takes a bit of time, sometimes it takes saying it out loud and being willing to risk that it's not quite accurate, such as calm, spacious, calm, spacious, heavy, and a little bit tired. It rings really true for me right now. That's the recipe that's going on here. Just distracted a moment. I'll leave it, Lisa. Thank you for chatting and letting me know you're here. And so these are powerful things, just changing consciously with awareness, with attention brought to how we're holding our parts of our body, and especially hands that are so rich with feeling, can really shift uh, what we're sensing, what we're feeling, our whole experience. So I was going to do a little bit more movement, but let's see, we're at about 19 minutes. I'll just leave that to you. If you feel like I'm going to we'll take about a minute of, I'm going to do a little six directions of the spine. This is my full disclosure here. I was going to do a practice with these six directions in some way. So I'm going one side, the other to start with, but then I was inspired to do something related to the hands. But if you're moving with me or in some way like this, you can also especially tend to how your hands feel, not losing that sense of groundedness. And you can be moving like I am, or you could move and hold. So I've gone side, side, twist, twist to each side. And now I'm going to move, opening of the front body and then going concave or cat and dog or no cat. And I like the rainbow and hammock that Annie uses. Arch and tuck. And notice that really having done that, all that attention to the hands really highlights for me. Maybe that's not true for you, but maybe it's highlighting your hands. And then you decide, I'm going to start sliding toward meditation, toward the stillness piece. So our movement was again truly mini with the attention to the energy of our hands. And now, as we slide towards stillness, you might just land right where you are. And again, you could be doing this in bed, on the floor, on your side, on your back, standing, sitting in a chair. And whatever amount of adjustment you need, or you might be right ready to come into our meditation piece. About 8 minutes. So I bow to begin the practice, to delineate this is the beginning of stillness, and to wish you a good journey. And instead of me bringing cues into the meditation, draw on what you already know what we've already done today. At this point, in stillness. No matter what happens to you in your meditation, whatever virtual reality you find yourself in, caught up in, your presence has never abandoned you. Here together for another couple minutes. Few more breaths. And you might join me to, to symbolize the end of our practice together, even if you decide to stay and meditate longer, or bringing your palms together in front of your heart and feeling this particular uh, message that this shape gives, our messages, perhaps of gratitude, respect as we bow our heads to our hands, to our hearts, to each other, and signify the end of the meditation. And I think when I end this video, I'm going to lay down in a shavasana or legs up a chair. So thank you so much for joining me. We can really take a few moments. It can be another way of practicing, of just noticing where are your hands and just breathing and feeling what we're doing with our hands, especially when we just get quiet for a few moments. But perhaps also, I'll challenge myself to this when we're doing so many things with our hands, typing, texting, scrolling, gardening, washing dishes, cooking. And so we can be aware. We're very rich with nerve endings. So thank you again for joining me. Oh, and just like Lisa did, put in a note here. So glad that I caught you in this odd time and that you put a note in there, or you can put a note once this is, I think, I don't know, maybe you can put in comments below already, or after it goes, whatever gets produced. You can also write me a note at aLex at sunandmoonstudio.com. I'll receive that. And be well, and I'll see you on Sunday. What is that? The 24th, 2025 on 10 a.m. Eastern time. I believe the one after that we may be, I don't know if it's or off or not. I don't know how many days we have. I think we might be off that Sunday, or so was that September 1st, or maybe, I don't know. I'll let you know next Sunday. Thanks so much. Ciao, ciao. And one last thing, check out sunandmoonstudio.com for how to be together in more things.